What happened, cops? Tell me.
All right, we're kicking off. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
the very
thank
first
you.
news story that broke out actually this morning is that Daniel Craig is going to star in a murder mystery called Knives Out, directed by The Last Jedi's director, Rian Johnson.
This is interesting though. This is an interesting story. Like, when is this then?
What was that?
That was my. I hate The Last Jedi.
But wait. So because the question we covered it on Jedi Council last week is that he's still working on the trilogy, right? Stop it! You're poking the bear.
I still hate people, and I love that movie.
All right, look.
I hate everyone.
Yeah, look, if you say
That's a
things to
soundbite.
trigger me, it's going to happen.
All right. Well, listen. Can I? All right. The new trilogy.
Jesus.
It's still happening. But the question is, if he has James Bond in it, right? There's another reason why, because we're pushing this thing back. When does this happen? When does this happen? You want definitely.
No, I just think it's funny, like how like the fake hate I was giving right.
Move to the mic,
and then you say Daniel Craig might be in the trilogy.
Yeah,
then I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
No, but when is it? Is this movie even?
Both
like,
guys have toupees.
Great.
Those guys.
Craig is definitely going to knock out Bond before.
Yeah, I think so. But now,
Christian, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm listening, and I hear you.
But that's the question. The question is then this means, are they definitely pushing back the trilogy here for a little bit? Because when is this movie supposed to come out? And if he's doing a trilogy for Lucasfilm, when's he going to have the time to do this?
Well, didn't they say, because like they kind of sidelined a lot of projects that had been announced, not necessarily from Lucasfilm's lips, but from like reputable outlets saying, "Oh, there's a Boba Fett movie, there's an Obi-Wan movie."
And,
in the works.
and then they said that there wasn't.
Right,
So.
and so now the only trilogy that I think Lucasfilm is concerned with is closing up shop on Episode 9 and then doing the Benioff and Weiss, whatever that is,
Right.
and then Favreau having a TV show. I don't think that Rian Johnson is going to end up directing another Star Wars movie.
I do. I think it is definitely going to happen.
I would like to see him do it because I am a huge fan of The Last Jedi.
What do you think he's directing?
It's a spin-off thing. It's nothing that we've ever seen before, but I think it's something he's been working on, and I think that they are very high on him over there. It doesn't matter what how divisive the Last Jedi might have been. They're very high on him.
But I'm looking at it in terms of like what is the future of Lucasfilm and who's going to be running it after Episode 9? Because if you have a situation where Kathleen Kennedy says, "Okay, that's my swan song," and I step down, and somebody replaces her as the head of Lucasfilm. Is she the one that is like high on Rian Johnson? Is it everybody over there?
I think that from what I've heard is that he gets Star Wars, even though, again, I know a lot of people.
I feel like he gets it. I'd love to see what else he can do.
But I think that I want to see what he gets outside of the original trilogy, to where he doesn't have to pay attention to characters that people are so attached to, and what he can do outside. But that's
is this a canon thing? I don't know.
Just in general with movies. I don't know what he's going to do. We don't know. But that's a moot point as far as like what's going to happen here, though, because this movie he's doing here with. I actually think this is a smart move if he does this first. I think that this is something, if he does this movie with Daniel Craig, or it could actually be a disaster too, because if it doesn't turn out good, then he's in trouble.
Looks like this movie might come out before Bond, actually, because they're still regrouping from Bond losing Boyle.
Yeah,
the article says that he's going to make this before he directs the new trilogy.
That's right, which makes sense. So that then don't expect to see that trilogy anytime soon. I think you're probably right. I think you get Episode 9, then you probably get a Benioff and Weiss movie first, and they'll probably announce that at Celebration.
Going to be very interesting what the next movie after Episode 9 that they do is like because that's going to determine what they believe is the best course of action, because they were pretty hell bent on making movies from who everybody's familiar with, like Han Solo, even Rogue One. That was a very familiar story to Star Wars, was the Death Star. So now, do you try to go back to that well after Episode 9 and do an Obi-Wan movie, or do you say we're gonna completely do something that's totally different in a different place and time?
I think the direction of it is to take brand new characters, new things, and try to get away from the spin-offs and everything too. I think that they're going to just close out with Episode 9 and move on, and we're going to move on.